Have you ever walked into a room full of people and suddenly forgotten how to be a normal human being?
Your brain decides to take a vacation.
I feel personally attacked.
Confidence sounds cool. In theory, nervous laughing and saying things, that moment where you pretend to check your phone, even though you already checked it 5 seconds ago.
Should I say something, or should I escape to the bathroom and never come back?
Fake it till you make it.
This phrase actually appears in a song by Taylor Swift.
I can do it with a broken heart. From the Tortured Poets Department. Silence feels awkward.
Hello? Have you ever walked into a room full of people and suddenly forgotten how to be a normal human being?
Oh, absolutely, Jessica. Like your brain decides to take a vacation right when someone says your name and expects you to respond with words.
Today on StoryOrbitEN, we are talking about how to talk to anyone with confidence. And honestly, Tom, I feel personally attacked by this topic.
Same here, because confidence sounds cool in theory, but in real life, it often shows up as nervous laughing and saying things like, so, yeah, way too many times.
Exactly. And I think a lot of English learners feel that pressure even more because you are not only thinking about what to say, but how to say it correctly.
That pressure is real. And the funny thing is that confidence is not about being perfect. It is more about being comfortable with imperfection.
I love that. And I want to start with a very real situation. Imagine you are at a party or a work event and someone you do not know stands next to you.
That moment where you pretend to check your phone, even though you already checked it 5 seconds ago.
Exactly. And you are thinking, should I say something or should I escape to the bathroom and never come back?
This is where confidence often gets misunderstood because people think confident speakers always know the perfect thing to say, but they do not.
So what do they have that others do not? Because it cannot just be magic.
They usually focus on connection instead of performance, meaning they care more about the other person than about sounding impressive.
That is such a key idea because when you stop performing, you start listening, and listening is actually a confidence superpower.
Totally. And listening gives you time to think, which reduces that feeling of panic where words just disappear.
Let us pause here and talk about a very useful expression. When someone says, take the pressure off, it means reduce stress or expectations.
Right. For example, you could say, I try to take the pressure off by reminding myself that this is just a conversation, not a test.
Listeners, do you ever feel like speaking English is a test that you are constantly failing?
If you do, here is the good news. Real conversations do not have grades, and nobody is counting your mistakes.
Another thing that helps confidence is having a few simple opening lines ready. Not fancy ones, just human ones.
Like, hey, how do you know the host? Or, this place is louder than I expected. Because comments about the situation feel natural.
That brings us to a nice phrase. When we say break the ice, we mean to start a conversation and reduce awkwardness.
Exactly. And you can break the ice by talking about shared experiences, like the weather, the room, or the event you are both in.
Some learners worry that small talk is useless, but actually, small talk is the doorway to real talk.
Yes, small talk is like warming up before exercise. It prepares you for deeper conversation later.
And if you feel like small talk is still a bit scary or you want more ideas, we actually have a full episode just about that. You can go back and watch video number 51 on this channel. It is called 100 Small Talk Sentences for Everyday English Podcast.
That episode gives you lots of real, simple sentences you can use right away without sounding robotic or strange.
Tom, have you ever had a conversation that started with something boring and then suddenly became really interesting?
Many times, and one comes to mind immediately. I once started chatting with someone at a conference about how bad the coffee was. We complained for a minute, laughed about how every conference has terrible coffee, and then somehow ended up talking about why we both changed careers in our 30s. What started as a boring comment turned into a deep conversation, and that is why confidence grows when you trust the process instead of forcing results.
I want to touch on body language for a moment, because confidence is not only about words.
True. Things like eye contact, relaxed shoulders, and not crossing your arms can change how you feel and how others see you.
There is a phrase, fake it till you make it, and it means acting confident, even if you do not feel confident yet.
Some people hate that phrase, but it does not mean lying. It means practicing confidence before it feels natural.
Exactly. It is like training a muscle. You do the movement first, and the strength comes later.
And the more you speak, the more evidence you give your brain that you can handle it.
Exactly. And a great example of this phrase actually appears in a song by Taylor Swift.
Yes. In I Can Do It With a Broken Heart from the Tortured Poets Department, she literally says, they said, babe, you gotta fake it till you make it. And I did.
And what makes that line powerful is that the song is about performing, smiling, and functioning while feeling completely heartbroken inside.
So she is not pretending she is fine. She is choosing to keep going even when things are hard, which is a very different idea.
Exactly, she says that because in that moment she's very sad inside, but she still has to go on stage and perform. She can't stop the show, so she smiles, dances, and sings, even though she feels broken emotionally. So when she says fake it till you make it, she means acting strong on the outside while you slowly survive and heal on the inside.
And that idea is very easy to connect to speaking English because sometimes you feel insecure, tired, or nervous, but you still speak.
That is such an important point because confidence does not mean you feel amazing. It means you act anyway.
And the more you act, the more your brain starts to believe, oh, maybe I can actually do this.
It really is like training a muscle. You do the movement first, and the strength comes later.
So when you smile, make eye contact, and speak even with a little fear, that is not fake confidence. That is brave confidence.
Now, let us talk about mistakes because fear of mistakes is probably the biggest confidence killer for English learners. When we say confidence killer, we mean something that slowly destroys your confidence and makes you afraid to act.
Mistakes feel embarrassing, but they're actually proof that you are trying, and trying is how fluency grows.
There is a very helpful mindset shift here. Instead of thinking, I made a mistake, think I learned something.
That little change in thinking can lower anxiety a lot because learning sounds positive, not scary.
I remember being abroad once and trying to speak the local language. Even though I knew I was making mistakes, I mixed up words, my pronunciation was not great, and I felt a bit embarrassed at first.
But what happened was interesting, right?
Yes, people smiled, slowed down, and helped me, and some of them even said they appreciated that I tried to speak their language.
That is such an important point because most people care more about the effort than about correctness.
Exactly, and when someone does not even try and expects everyone to speak their language, that feels much worse to locals.
So especially when you are abroad, trying to speak, even badly, creates connection and respect.
And that is why making mistakes is not failure. It is proof that you are doing the brave thing and actually communicating.
Listeners, think about the last mistake you made in English. What did it teach you? And remember, native speakers make mistakes too. They just do it faster and with more confidence.
Another useful expression is to stumble over words, which means to speak with difficulty or hesitation.
You could say, I sometimes stumble over words when I am nervous, but I keep going anyway.
Keeping going is important because stopping completely gives your fear too much power.
Yes, confidence often means continuing even when things are not perfect.
I also want to mention asking questions because confident people ask a lot of them.
Asking questions takes the spotlight off you and puts it on the other person, which feels safer.
For example, imagine you are talking and you suddenly forget a word or your sentence sounds strange. Instead of panicking or stopping, you can simply ask, how do you say this in English? Or does that make sense?
That way the conversation keeps moving and the other person feels involved instead of judging you. And most people are happy to help, so the moment becomes friendly instead of stressful.
And if someone is rude or impatient, that is their problem, not yours.
Exactly. You will meet rude people everywhere in life, in any language, in any country. It does not mean your English is bad. It just means that person is not very nice. So do not let one bad reaction stop you, because confidence also means knowing what is not your responsibility.
This actually reminds me of my friend Mia, who was trying to speak French while traveling abroad.
Oh no, that already sounds like a stressful situation.
She was spelling a word out loud, mixing English and French, really trying to communicate at a small cafe.
And let me guess, the reaction was not great.
Not at all. The person behind the counter snapped and said something like, "Your French is terrible, just speak properly."
That kind of comment can shut someone down instantly.
Exactly. Mia felt embarrassed and thought maybe I should just stop trying.
But something changed later, right?
Yes, later that day she ran into the same person again, and this time they apologized.
What happened?
They explained they had just found out their train was canceled, they were late for work, and their phone had stopped working, so they were already very upset.
So the bad reaction had nothing to do with Mia or her French.
Exactly, and that moment helped her understand that rude reactions are often about someone else's bad day, not your language skills.
And once you stop taking every reaction personally, speaking suddenly feels much lighter.
Yes, because then you are free to focus on the other person instead of judging yourself all the time. And that is where real confidence starts to grow, when your attention moves outward, not inward.
And people usually like talking about themselves, so you are actually doing them a favor. A simple follow-up like, "How did that make you feel?" can turn a short answer into a real conversation.
This is where curiosity beats confidence, because curiosity naturally leads to better conversations.
Exactly, and curiosity sounds genuine, not rehearsed.
Let us talk about silence for a second, because many learners are afraid of it. Silence feels awkward, but it is actually normal, and confident speakers are not afraid of short pauses.
A pause can mean you are thinking, not that you are failing. You can even say, "Let me think about that for a second," and that sounds totally natural.
That phrase is gold, because it buys you time and shows awareness.
Time reduces panic, and less panic means more confidence.
We should also talk about self-talk, the voice in your head while you speak.
If that voice keeps saying, "You sound stupid," confidence has no chance. A kinder self-talk could be, "I am communicating, and that is enough for now." That kind of inner dialogue supports you instead of attacking you.
StoryOrbitEN listeners, try noticing what you say to yourself during conversations.
Changing that inner conversation can change the outer one too.
Another expression you might hear is own the room, which means to appear confident and comfortable in a space. You do not need to be loud to own the room. Sometimes calm presence is more powerful.
That is such an important point because confidence is not the same as being the center of attention. Quiet confidence exists.
Let us be practical for a moment. What is one small thing someone can do today to feel more confident speaking English?
I would say start one short conversation, even if it is just a few sentences, and then stop.
That sounds manageable because confidence grows from small wins, not big heroic moments.
Exactly. And after that conversation, you can say, "I did it," and that matters.
I want to check in with listeners again. Where do you usually feel least confident speaking English?
At work, with friends, with strangers, or maybe on the phone, which is extra hard.
Phone calls. Remove body language, so your brain has less information and more stress.
In that case, preparing a few phrases in advance can really help.
Preparation is not cheating, it is supporting yourself. And support is not weakness, it is smart.
Let us actually imagine how this looks in real life.
Okay, I will be a nervous English learner at a work event, and you will be a colleague I do not know very well.
Perfect. Go for it.
Hi, I am a bit nervous, but I wanted to ask how long you have worked here.
Oh, about 3 years now. It has been busy, but interesting.
Oh, nice. And do you enjoy it most days, or does it get stressful sometimes?
It definitely gets stressful, especially on Mondays, but I like the people.
Great. See, nothing perfect, but the conversation is flowing.
Exactly. You did not need complex grammar, just curiosity and a few prepared questions.
And now imagine the same situation without preparation.
Right. It might sound more like silence and panic instead of words.
So having those phrases ready is like having a safety net.
And when you feel safe, confidence has space to grow.
We are getting close to the end, so let us gently wrap things up. Today we talked about confidence as connection, listening, curiosity, and continuing despite mistakes.
We talked about expressions like take the pressure off, which means to reduce stress or expectations in a situation. We also use break the ice, meaning to start a conversation and make things less awkward.
Another key phrase was fake it till you make it, which means acting confident first so confidence can grow later. We explained confidence killer, something that slowly destroys your confidence and makes you afraid to speak.
We also looked at to stumble over words, which means speaking with difficulty when you are nervous. And we practiced useful question patterns like, how do you say this in English? And does that make sense?
Those questions help you keep a conversation going instead of stopping when things feel imperfect.
Now it is your turn. Write a comment using one of these expressions or asking a simple follow-up question.
Practice is how confidence grows, and we cannot wait to read what you write.
Thank you for spending this time with us on StoryOrbitEN.
Keep talking, keep trying, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye!